Thank you so much for watching my presentation. My name is Mafaro Chantal Tawodzera, and today we'll be talking about understanding poverty in the UK. What is poverty? Poverty is the absence of adequate income and resources to address basic needs, which include food, shelter, and healthcare. It encompasses material deprivation as well as social exclusion, which impacts the capacity of an individual to live within the society. Poverty provides insights into inequalities and facilitates policy decision making to enhance the standards of living and create social justice. The UK is a developed country where poverty afflicts millions of people, including working families, children, and pensioners. Edmonston 2022. The concept of poverty is a crucial one that contributes to the battle of homelessness, education disparity, poor health, and crime. Absolute poverty. Absolute poverty refers to a lack of the physical ability to obtain the minimum requirements to survive, including food, clean water, shelter, and clothing. A fixed standard quantifies it, usually international, e.g. living below the $2.15 per day poverty line by World Bank terms. The definition does not vary over time and does not depend on the broader levels of living of the society. Volmet ETL 2017. Absolute poverty is prevalent in the developing world, but in the UK it may occur in extreme form, e.g. rough sleeping or severe destitution. Beveridge Report 1942 sought to eradicate a significant cause of absolute poverty by instituting the welfare state. Relative poverty. Relative poverty is living with far fewer resources than other individuals in the same society, resulting in social exclusion. It is generally considered earnings that are less than 60% of the median household's national income. Kumar ETL 2017. Such a practice is unequal and shows how poverty evolves as part of the total way of life. The concept of relative poverty is widely used in the UK to gauge the welfare of various groups of people, especially children and working families. Acts such as the Child Poverty Act 2010 took comparative steps to monitor and diminish poverty over a period. Judgment. Absolute and relative poverty center on substance requirements and social disparity and exclusion, respectively. Relative poverty is a responsive to social conventions, which is why it is more applicable in monitoring poverty in more affluent societies such as the UK. Relative poverty is more suitable in the UK context, as it can be said to portray the increasing cost of living, inequality, and the need for social inclusion. Such absolute poverty is simple to determine internationally, but might fail to account locally for the living standards and social participation. However, the subjective measures have been criticized and as not capturing individuals who would not be subjected to severe material deprivation. Ivinson ETL 2018. Absolute poverty. When people do not have enough money or resources to meet their basic human needs, such as lacking food, water, and shelter. Relative poverty. When people don't have enough money or resources to live up to normal standards in a society, often defined as living below the median midpoint income. Excuse me. Perspective. Changes in poverty in Britain, historical perspective. The development of the welfare state in the World War II reforms eradicated poverty through benefits, the NHS, and social housing. In response, the Beveridge Report 1942 informed policies intended to address the so-called five giants that included want, poverty. The welfare services and industries were reduced in the 90s Budget cuts and recession increased unemployment and child poverty in the 19s under Thatcher. New Labour 1997 to 2010 spent on tax credits and education in reducing child poverty, among other things, to help low-income families. Food bank usage and in work poverty have been associated in recent years with austerity and the introduction of universal credit since 2010, Hills ETL 2019. Contemporary changes in poverty. The COVID-19 pandemic worsened the situation of poverty as the number of those who lost their jobs, experienced income insecurity, and depended on benefits grew. Increased inflation and the cost of energy have led to a shrinking of real incomes, leading to an increased number of households falling into economic hardship. The high rents and scarcity of social housing in the UK have led to worsening living conditions for many people. Rose and Mark Only 2019. Use of food banks has increased massively, with organizations such as Trussell Trust documenting all-time highs in use of food banks throughout the UK. There has been an increase in child and in work poverty, underscoring the lack of increases in wages and the shortcomings in helping families low on income. Methods of measuring poverty. Poverty is also seen as the level at which a household ends below 60% of the median household income. Using income-based measure tools such as HBAI, the UK government has been widely using these measures to monitor relative poverty trends. The indicators used in measuring material deprivation determine whether individuals lack access to basic resources such as clothing and a cozy home, Canada 2017. The measures of social exclusion do not only focus on income as a method of looking at inhibitors of societal participation, e.g., education, work. Critique of measurement methods. Fixed income levels do not take into consideration regional levels of the cost of living or individual household requirements. Individuals living in poverty can underreport their hardship as a result of stigma, shame, or because they do not have access to service. Money information by itself cannot capture various instances of struggling, such as deaths, inappropriate housing, or food insecurities, Edmonton 2022. They are more holistic but may be more challenging to measure and compare. Multidimensional and material measures are more difficult to compare and measure but are more holistic. The union of statistics and lived experience alongside provides a more nuanced understanding in poverty. Conclusion. Comprehensions on how our society classifies poverty, absolute or relative, have a bearing on the way the society perceives poverty. Proper measurement techniques play a key role in monitoring trends, capitalizing resources, and even assessing the impact of policy. Income and non-income indicators should be used to capture the entire picture of poverty in the UK. Our contemporary issues such as inflation, housing crisis, and in-work poverty demonstrate that something new, something adaptive and proactive is required. Finally, all the mentioned should require poverty policies to be evidence-based, inclusive, and aimed at dignity, equity, and long-term change. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. This is the end and all work has been referenced.